Hey guys, it's me, Rora, and welcome to another video. On Sunday, the Pwn by 14 public testing place reopened, this time with Aubree, the next survivor coming to the game. A new map was also secretly added late that night. I'll go over everything Aubree is capable of and show off some cool clips of gameplay. Let's get into it. Shortly after midnight, an announcement declared the public testing place would be open with Aubree for 3 days in a barely balanced state in order to figure out her issues. In the game, there was a sword embedded in the table that wasn't there before, and interacting with the sword allowed you to equip Aubree. Aubree has a very complex moveset compared to all of the other survivors. She effectively has 9, maybe 12 different abilities depending on what you count. Her abilities can be categorized in 3 or 4 different types. There are the basics, slashes, specials, chase attacks, and, if you count them, swaps. These vary based on which sword is equipped. Aubree starts every round with the Link sword equipped. In order to equip a different sword, she has to use one of her swap abilities. To do that, she needs to fill up her code bar, her passive, halfway. By landing certain abilities, Aubree can increase the amount of code she has up to 10. Some of her abilities use this code. When Aubree uses her first ability key, she brings out whatever sword she has equipped. While she has the sword out, Aubree can't run and her stamina regen is nullified. Aubree's first ability is her basic slash. For every sword, clicking performs a basic slash, and if it hits something, the number displayed beside Aubree goes up. When she hits her third slash, her combo breaker, the ability ends. The ability also ends if it's used again, or if she misses a slash. She can also simply unequip the ability if she hasn't slashed at all yet. Aubree's linked sword first inflicts slowness 3, then staggered 1, then stuns the killer for 2.5 seconds. Her first 2 slashes give 1 code each, and her combo breaker gives 3 more. Landing a full 3 slashes thus gives her half her bar, enough to swap swords. Aubree's second ability is her special, which does something unique with each sword. With her linked sword, Aubree spawns a brick after some wind-up that gives Armored 1 for 15 seconds to whoever touches it, much like Brandon's brick. Armored was intended to reduce a single hit of damage by around 50%, but it was bugged, so it only reduced damage by 3 and sometimes didn't break when you were hit. The linked sword special also forces Aubree to keep her sword out for a brief time before she can put it away. If someone else takes her brick, she receives experience and killer chance. This is also the only way to obtain experience and killer chance as Aubree during the playtest. Finally, Aubree has a hidden ability, her chase attack, activated by holding shift when using an M1. This ability has no cooldown and also does something different for each sword. For her linked sword, Aubree can only use her chase attack once per combo. She will forward slightly further than a default slash with the ability to turn somewhat during the slash. This counts as one of her 3 slashes, but it can't be used in place of her combo breaker. None of the linked sword's abilities use any code. However, the Blood Sword and Illumina swap abilities cost half a bar of code, as I said before. When Aubree uses one of these abilities, it is replaced by the linked sword swap ability. Aubree can swap back to the linked sword at no code cost, or swap to the other sword for another 5 code. The Blood Sword's basic slashes are shorter and slower than those of the linked sword. To compensate, its swings inflict staggered and its combo breaker inflicts a longer stun. Also, Aubree was meant to have some damage resistance with the sword, but it was only implemented later during the playtest. The Blood Sword's chase attack costs just 2 code. Aubree winds up and then punches forward with some unlag. If she lands the punch, it doesn't count towards her combo, but she keeps any combo she has. It also heals Aubree for 35 HP if she lands the hit. She can spam the ability as long as she has enough code. Even if she misses, she can continue her combo. The Blood Sword special costs much more code, 5 code to be specific, and for good reason. When Aubree uses the Blood Sword special, she starts running forward with incredibly slow turning. If she hits the killer in this state, the killer is brought along with her for a pretty long time. The killer is given silence during the charge, but doesn't have it for long after, so Aubree will have to react fast. Though she puts the sword away after charging, its cooldown is incredibly low, so she can quickly chain the charge into more slashes. The Illumina, by contrast, has far longer and faster slashes. but it can't stun, instead applying silence and stagger. Don't underestimate it though, this might be Aubree's most consistent sword. In fact, you get brief iframes for landing hits, which neither other sword has. The Illumina's chase attack costs 3 code. When Aubree uses it, she performs a spin attack that serves to extend her combo. This ability is also spammable if she has the code to do it. However, if she misses this ability, she does put her sword away. Even so, it's kinda unclear what constitutes missing. One person said they only ever had to land the first or last hit for the attack to count as hit, but from my experience, I had to land at least 2 hits. The Illumina special, which costs the same amount, is a little bit underwhelming in my opinion. It's basically just a normal slash, except you go extra far, and it applies both staggered and silenced. It also serves to extend the Illumina's combo, so Aubree can hypothetically chain a maximum of 7 abilities. Her special, 2 basic slashes, 3 chase attacks, and finally her combo breaker. The Blood Sword, on the other hand, can actually hypothetically chain 9 abilities, 5 punches, and her 2 basic slashes, then another punch, and finally her combo breaker. However, chaining several punches is super difficult. 1 or 2 punches in a combo is probably the best you'll pull off with a competent killer. Overall, Aubree might be one of the most difficult survivors to play yet, especially with the upcoming changes to the other characters. As it stands, she doesn't get a lot more reward out of her abilities either. However, everything about her is susceptible to change, and I find it extremely likely she'll receive a lot of alterations based on the feedback everyone provided. If she seems unbalanced right now, don't worry, she'll definitely be a lot better when she actually comes to the game. The other big thing added in the playtest was the Hospital Nightmare map. It was actually initially added in secret by its creator, but it was soon officially revealed. The map is fairly large, especially compared to the other recent maps. I actually liked it quite a lot in comparison. There's basically 2 sections. There's the larger hospital indoor section, which from what I've seen is where survivors spend pretty much all their time. Then there's the outdoor section, which is spooky but went majorly unused during the playtest. The one outside area I saw consistently used was this place with a ramp leading inside as well as an adjacent entrance. I recorded like 8 hours of footage, so I'm not compiling it all together. Instead, I'll show a bunch of cool clips from my gameplay. In truth, I missed more slashes than I hit, but nobody wants to see that. I'm really excited for Aubree to come to the game, and honestly, this upcoming map could become one of my favorites to play on. Personally, I thought Aubree needed at least some stamina regen while holding a sword, and that she shouldn't be able to gain code from slashing you if you were already stunned, but these are just my thoughts. I want to hear what you all think after seeing her in action, so leave a comment if you have anything to say, leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.